Ferrari and Charles Leclerc. They are both in a war with each other to see who can ruin his championship faster. At the French Grand Prix, Charles f***ed it into the barriers while he was leading the race. Afterwards, he said in an interview, "I'm losing too many points. 7 I think was in Imola and 25 here. So if I lose the championship by 32 points, I know where they went." What he's talking about is in Imola, he made another mistake, which dropped him from 3rd to 6th. So instead of scoring 15 points for 3rd, he only scored 8 points for 6th, losing 7 points. Add that to the 25 he just lost in France, and you get 32 points.
Mathematics.
And that gave me an idea. So far this season there has been 12 races, and after the French Grand Prix, Charles is now 63 points behind Verstappen. That sounds terrible, because it is. But it's worse when you look at how things were after the Australian Grand Prix. Charles was leading the championship by 34 points, and Verstappen was down in 6th. How did that happen? Well, obviously, something went completely tits up over these 9 races. So I thought it would be fun to count up how many points Charles Leclerc and Ferrari have thrown away between the two of them, add them all up and see how shit they are. It's like the FIA Formula 1 World Championship, but instead I'm going to call it the LOL This Is Why We Can't Have Anything Nice tournament. And it started in Imola, where, like he said, he fucked it into the barriers, costing himself 7 points. Nothing serious, and it was still early in the season. Then, at the Miami Grand Prix, nobody did anything stupid. He doesn't make a mistake, Ferrari forgot to screw him over on the strategy, and even though he finished in 2nd behind Max Verstappen, he was still leading the championship by 19 points. So at this point, everything looks fine. But now we are about to hit the Italian iceberg. At the Spanish Grand Prix, he was in the lead of the race with a comfortable gap behind after Verstappen fucked it into the gravel. Nobody was going to challenge him for the win, but then Ferrari remembered they were Ferrari, so his engine died and he retired. 25 points thrown away. Then, at the Monaco Grand Prix, he's in the lead of the race on a track where it's impossible to overtake. Verstappen was caught behind Perez, Carlos was dropping back behind him, he was finally about to win his home race. But then Ferrari remembered they were Ferrari, so they made a complete arsehole of the strategy. They called him into the pit lane at the wrong time, he had to sit and wait behind Carlos, and by the time he came back out, he'd lost the lead of the race and was down in 4th. Behind Verstappen. 25 points for the win became 12, so 13 points thrown away. And if you thought that was bad, Ferrari said, "Lol, hold my spaghetti." At the Azerbaijan Grand Prix, once again he was leading the race, and once again it was ruined. On lap 21 his engine blew up and he retired. Another 25 points thrown away. Then onto the Canadian Grand Prix, and this one's a bit more difficult to judge. Because of that blow up in Azerbaijan, he started from the back of the grid with an engine penalty. So it's impossible to know where he would have finished if his race wasn't fucked before it even started. But we did see Carlos Sainz challenging Verstappen for the win. So it's fair to say Leclerc could have won that race. Instead, he finished 5th. 15 points thrown away. Then onto the British Grand Prix, where both Red Bulls were taken out of contention for the win, when Max Verstappen ran over a piece of debris and Sergio Perez had to pit for a new front wing on lap 5. It was an open goal for Ferrari, but then a late safety car gave them the opportunity to fuck up Charles' race by not pitting him when everybody else did, making him a sitting duck for the restart. He should have won that race easily, but instead he finished 4th. 13 points thrown away. Then at the Austrian Grand Prix, Leclerc managed to win the race because Ferrari was too busy trying to kill Carlos. And now at the French Grand Prix, once again he's in the lead of the race, but this time, before Ferrari could do anything stupid, he fucks it into the barriers and throws away a win. 25 more points down the shitter. That means over the last 9 races, Ferrari and Charles Leclerc have thrown away 123 points. Speaking of complete fuck-ups at the French Grand Prix, Paul de Resta was back in the commentary box. Paul de Resta and Paul Ricard are the two worst Pauls in history, and that includes Logan Paul, Jake Paul, and a man called Paul Kenneth Bernardo, who was a serial rapist, also known as the schoolgirl killer. And I'd still rather have a pint with him than Paul, the Grand Prix killer, de Resta. I don't know why I hate him so much. I'll tell you why I hate him. It's that stupid little laugh Crofty does every time Paul tries to say something funny.
So plan D, forget plan C. I wonder if that's come in and put some soft tyres on.
Have they got a driver manual in there?
Have they got a driver manual in there? Ha 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 ha. Shut up. And then there's how much of a little snitch he is.
So I would say Sainz cut the corner there at turn 3 as well, on the inside.
Oh, Sainz cut the corner. Ooh. Why don't you blow your rape whistle then? But I've figured out the real reason why I have an irrational hatred for Paul de Resta. Bear with me. It goes back to 2012. Formula One headed to Brazil for the season finale. It was Sebastian Vettel versus Fernando Alonso for the championship. Vettel had a 13-point lead and all he had to do was finish 4th and he was the world champion. Whereas Fernando had to win the race and hope Vettel finished 5th or lower. Sebastian started 4th, Fernando starts 7th, so the odds were in Vettel's favour. Until, on the first lap, he crashes with Bruno Senna and drops all the way down to last place. A complete disaster, and on the second lap, Fernando pulled off a double overtake to get up to 3rd. And in that position, with Vettel all the way down at the back, Fernando was about to win his first World Championship for Ferrari. But then, Vettel starts raging back through the field, and even with a damaged car, over 70 laps, he pulled off 31 overtakes. He gets back up into 6th. Lewis Hamilton and Nico Hülkenberg have a crash. Fernando is now in 2nd. It's going to go all the way to the checkered flag. We were about to get one of the most exciting finishes to a championship we've ever seen. And then what happened? Paul de Resta, in his Force India, fucked it into the wall and the race ended behind the safety car. That's a crime against humanity. Do you remember last week when that French commentator got fired for calling Lance Stroll a spacker? Yeah? Well then what's the punishment for this? Paul de Resta should never be allowed near a Formula 1 track ever again, the slippery little bastard. I am calm. Even though the end of the race was ruined, Sebastian did enough to win the World Championship. And it's kind of a nice coincidence that I was doing this bit, because just a few days ago, Sebastian Vettel announced his retirement. And you know what that means? Lance Stroll is getting a new teammate. Everybody stay calm. I am calm. People have already started speculating who it might be. Nico Hülkenberg, Daniel Ricciardo, Oscar Piastri, Logan Sargent, Nick De Vries. No, there is only one man it could ever be. Ladies and gentlemen, I present the Aston Martin 2023 driver lineup.
Okay, let's go! Let's go!
It is man!
Do you want to play a game?